What's up, families? Welcome to the best and most interesting channel on all of YouTube. So today I'm going to be doing my rewatch reaction to a fan edit called Darth Plagueis. This is Our Galaxy by Dudu Film. I probably watched this 30 times. It's one of my most favorite fan edits. It's really insightful, and it really provides many of the lore to the Sith code and just the overall mindset and mentality of being a Sith who only wants to gain absolute control and power over the galaxy. Sith have a massive lust for power. Well, this will reveal that their lust for power is stemmed by many different aspects, antidotes, and facets of ascension to power, or how they crave an ascension and rule over the galaxy, such as Senator Palpatine, who eventually became Chancellor Palpatine, and due to his master plan, he eventually fulfilled his master plan of destroying all the Jedi and recreating his Galactic Republic to the Galactic Empire. So, without any further ado, let's get started.
Remember why the Sith are more powerful than the Jedi, Sidious. Because we are not afraid to feel. We embrace the spectrum of emotions. From the heights of transcendent joy to the depths of hatred and despair.
A tragedy has occurred. It started right here with the taxation.
Fearless.
When Darth Plagueis says fearless,
We welcome whatever
it makes it more
paths the
intense,
dark side
showing that
sets us on.
when you want to gain absolute control of the galaxy, you do anything just to
Whatever destiny
gain absolute
lays
control,
out for us.
and whatever destiny it lays out for us.
I can't have your will
Tempered by feelings of regret
or
or compassion.
compassion.
No feelings of regret or compassion. You do whatever it takes to gain control of the galaxy as a Sith Lord. You lead the entire galaxy the way you want it to be.
See every living thing as nothing more than a tool to elevate you.
I have lots of thoughts on this.
That I have agreed.
Mace Windu
To
going
move
to the
to
center.
your destined place.
I love you.
I love the Republic.
This is our galaxy, Sidious.
Our reality.
Our reality.
Clone troopers.
For the dark side
Grand
is
Army
only
of the
for those who value self-determinism over all else that existence offers. Focusing on the acquisition of power. Descended from
Darth Revan.
We are the select few who refuse to be carried by the Force, and who carry it instead.
To be united
by hatred.
is a fragile
Kreia's quotes
alliance.
are the strongest. She was a Sith and Jedi of the Old Republic, one of the most wise.
Useless old fool. Who forged the most powerful Sith Lord the galaxy has ever known, and yet who forgot to leave a place for himself. Whose pride never allowed him to question that he would no longer be
Savage
needed.
request. Emperor Palpatine was Darth Plagueis brother.
Rest easy in your grave, Plagueis.
The Darth
Plagueis
the Wise.
No,
It's a Sith legend.
I thought not. It's a Sith legend.
I really loved the fan edit of Darth Plagueis, This Is Our Galaxy by Dudu Film. This is phenomenal work. It's probably one of the best work I've ever seen in terms of Sith lore or Sith mentality, or just the viewpoint and the perspective of a Sith whose goal and objective is to gain absolute control over the galaxy. Everything about this is on point, exactly the way it should be stated. The quotes and the voiceovers derived from the Darth Plagueis Audiobook. The Darth Plagueis Audiobook, which is basically the audio version of the Darth Plagueis novel. And the other quote was from Kreia, who's from the Old Republic era and is one of the most wise Jedi and Sith who have ever existed. Kreia, she knows both ways of the Force, the dark side and the light. She has an additional perspective that the Jedi don't have, and an additional perspective that the Sith don't have. when they implemented Kreia, I thought that it gave additional insight to what the Sith may not see and what the Jedi may not see. Of course, like I just stated a few seconds ago. When you are a Sith, you must view everything as a living tool to elevate you. So that means everything that you see means nothing to you. You lack compassion, you lack empathy, and you do whatever it takes to gain control of the galaxy. You manipulate others, you manipulate the galaxy to make things go the way you want it to be. Just like how Palpatine wanted himself to be the Chancellor and eventually the Emperor, he figured out that initially the Grand Army of the Republic would be trustworthy enough from the Jedi's viewpoint so that the Jedi can trust the Grand Army of the Republic and eventually fight alongside the clones for 3 years. And once they fought alongside the clones for 3 years, the Jedi would have no suspicion of the clones turning on them during Order 66. This fan edit made the prequels feel much more superior and more necessary and needed, and it gave the prequels so much recognition and credit. For example, Palpatine, he saw Senator Jar Jar Binks as the main tool to grant himself emergency powers in the Senate, meaning that when it comes to war, even if the Chancellor's term has expired, just like Obi-Wan said to Anakin during the Jedi Temple scene, after Anakin was rejected the title of Jedi Master on the Jedi High Council, Chancellor Palpatine is entitled to the emergency powers even after his time has passed, because it was during the brink of the Clone Wars, one of the most deadliest and most aggressive wars the Republic has ever faced. The fan edit gave me so much chills, and even though they didn't incorporate John Williams' soundtrack, I felt that the music was really appropriate and it felt completely meant for this fan edit. And the very first line, "Remember why the Sith are more powerful than the Jedi, Sidious. Because we are not afraid to feel. We embrace the spectrum of emotions." That means whatever path the dark side set us on, you must follow the dark side and the will of the dark side of the Force. If the dark side of the Force turns the chosen one to the dark side, just like how Anakin became Darth Vader in the middle of Episode 3, right after Anakin killed Mace Windu, then Palpatine must follow that. Even if Anakin decides to assassinate the Chancellor must let the next Sith of the next generation take over, so then he could embrace the history of the Sith and continue the history of the Sith. Just like in The Force Unleashed, how Palpatine knew that even if Galen Marek kills Palpatine, it will still be a success, a complete success for Palpatine and the rule of the Sith, the rule of two, because if Galen Marek decides to kill Palpatine, which never happened in the original timeline of The Force Unleashed and the alternate timeline, it never happened in any of those, but if he decided to kill Palpatine, and if he did, then he would most likely have so much anger and hatred filled in his emotions, and he would become Sith. He would become entirely Sith, and he would most likely adopt a young apprentice, a new apprentice, and perhaps he could adopt Lumaya. If you don't know who Lumaya is, she's a Sith assassin that was in the Expanded Universe. She was Darth Vader's Sith assassin, and she is Force sensitive, and she lost her arms. She had to undergo loss of cybernetic replacements, but she completely embraced the dark side to the point where she was actually a threat to Luke Skywalker's New Republic Jedi Order. And if you don't know, I believe that Palpatine was actually responsible for Anakin Skywalker's mother's death. Shmi Skywalker, he was responsible. I believe that he convinced Anakin through Sith alchemy that his mother was dying, and there's no way for his mother to live unless he decided to intervene and take his first step into the mentality of the Sith and the dark side. His fear, his hatred, and his anger that makes him crave the lust for power, doing things that Anakin didn't want to do. Anakin didn't want to kill the younglings. He didn't want to kill Padme accidentally or force choke Padme. He wanted to save his wife, but the Sith manipulated Anakin. Palpatine, he manipulated Anakin. He made Anakin do whatever it takes to gain control or power. Anakin, at the end, he did not gain control. He just became the more machine than man slave for Palpatine. After 24 years, it finally took Anakin to find the light in himself and finally redeem himself, fulfilling the prophecy, destroying the Sith, and bringing balance to the Force. That was the will of the Force. Anakin didn't favor the Sith or the Jedi. Internally, and due to the will of the Force, Anakin should not and did not favor the Jedi or the Sith. He embraced their teachings. He was influenced by the Jedi as a youngling towards Jedi knighthood and eventually Jedi Master. Anakin was influenced by Palpatine, which made him Sith. Anakin was never born to protect the Jedi or protect the Sith. He was meant to bring the balance of the Force. Just like how Anakin, when he turned to the dark side of the Force, he destroyed almost the entirety of the Jedi Order. According to the legends and expanded universe, there was only 100 Jedi that survived Order 66. After the Battle of Yavin, he needed to do that because the proportion and the number of Jedi and Sith were unbalanced. They had tens of thousands of Jedi where they only had 2 Sith, and that Vader or Anakin needed to bring the balance to the Force and destroy the majority of the Jedi so that he could fulfill the prophecy and bring balance to the Force. I really like the small detail that Kreia implicated and implemented and provided. She provided a very small detail that hinted that the Sith Empire or Galactic Empire will fall. To be united by anger and hatred is a fragile alliance at best. She's saying that the reign of the Sith is a fragile alliance, which is true, because at the end of Return of the Jedi, the Sith did not win, and the Jedi did not win. There was true balance in the Force. Due to the will of the Force, the Sith aren't supposed to win. They are a fragile alliance, just like how the Jedi are a fragile alliance. The true nature of the Force that the Force works on is the Grey Jedi mindset. A Grey Jedi is like Ahsoka Tano. Uses some aspects of the dark side, but also remaining in the light, never actually turning to the dark side completely. Embracing both sides to find that happy medium. Just like how in the Jedi Order, you could not marry. The Jedi had such strict rules on their Padawans and Knights and Younglings. Same with the Sith. The Sith are the other side of the spectrum that you do not want to be or associate with. They are a latter extreme. The fact that you have to do anything to gain power is selfish. That is the selfish ways of the Sith. While the Jedis are selfless. They don't care about themselves. They care about others way too much. That's why the Jedi are the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy. They protect others, but not themselves. That's why the Jedi are the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy. They protect others. They protect the entire galaxy, but they don't protect themselves. I hope you understand all my points. I've watched it several dozen times, but what can be proved was more excitement and thrill. I mean, it was too philosophical. I felt that there was more. I felt that action battles and sequences and scenes were somewhat necessary, because if you look at Star Wars, it's not just about the Force and its philosophy, it's about the battles. Star Wars, it's about all the battles, fights, skirmishes, dogfights, every single aspect of Star Wars into one universe. That is what can be improved slightly. All it had was just mostly philosophical stuff, showing the Jedi, showing the Senate and the Sith, but it lacked the aspect of Star Wars that fuels and keeps the franchise running, the action. I think that a philosophical film about the Jedi, the Sith, and the Force, and the Grey Jedi, and the Guardians of the Wills would be phenomenal, but there needs to be action in every single thing. If there's no action, then people won't be as interested. If you enjoyed my rewatch reaction, please smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Last but not least, may the Force be with you, always.